Hello student, we again come here for the electromagnetic wave. The paper code is EC501. I am Arnab Das for the topic related the electromagnetic wave discussed in here. The topic is in the module of 1. The topic we just is explained in here for the Maxwell equation and the basic law of electromagnetic. If we talk about electromagnetic field, that time Maxwell equation is so important one term, because if you know the Maxwell equation, then so easily electromagnetic field can be explained. Fundamental law of the classical electromagnetics can be explained by using the Maxwell equation. For the special cases, that means for the electrostatic, magnetostatic, or the electromagnetic wave, or also for the geometric optics, each and every cases Maxwell equation is the important term for explaining. Electrostatic means where the charged particles are static on there. For the magnetostatic, charged particle in a constant velocity. For the electromagnetic wave, the charged particle is moving with the acceleration point of view. For circuit theory, where the transmission line theory or also the Kirchhoff laws present, it also can be explained by using the electromagnetic field, and that means by using the Maxwell equation it can be explained. Circuit theory is for the case when the dimension is very less than the lambda value, that is the wavelength. Law of the electromagnetic, basically there are four laws are present. First one is the law of Biot-Savart, second one is the Ampere's law, third one force, and fourth one is the Faraday's law. Magnetic field generated by current in a wire, it can be explained by Biot-Savart, and Ampere's law states that the effect of the current on a loop of flux which it creates, and the force law, the force on an electron moving through a electromagnetic, can be explained by using the force law. Faraday's law are the voltage introduced in a circuit by the magnetic flux cutting it. These are the law of electromagnetic, and these are the four law of electromagnetic. We just introduce in here as a preliminary point of view, because these are not so important. We just learn about and the statement for the Biot-Savart. For the Biot-Savart is an equation describing the magnetic field generated by a constant electric current. So when we are interested to describe the magnetic field which are generated due to the constant electric current, can be explained by the Biot-Savart. It relates the magnetic field to the magnitude, direction, length, and the proximity of a electric current. Biot-Savart law is consist of both Ampere's circuital law and the Gauss theorem. Biot-Savart law is fundamental to magnetostatic and play a role similar to that of the Coulomb's law in electrostatic. So Biot-Savart law is, for that cases, it is important. If we want to know what is the magnetic field will be induced or produced due to the effect of the current flowing at the point P, that time we just write down the expression in this way, that is dB is proportional with the I dB dl sine of theta by of r square, where I dl is the small section of the current element and theta is the angle between the direction of the current flow and the position for which we are interested to calculate the magnetic field, and the r is the distance between that. This one is defined the r. If we consider for the SI unit form, that time the expression for the dB will become as dB is equal to mu 0 by of 4 pi ideal sine theta r square, where mu 0 4 pi is the constant term or constant proportionality term. The expression is called the Biot-Savart law or also the Laplace law. It is basically a formula to find the magnetic field due to any structure for which all the dB along the length of the structure have to be added to find out the total B. Ampere's law is a mathematical statement of the relation between the current and magnetic field they generate. It is thus the magnetic equivalent of Gauss' law, which relate charges to their electric field. That means Ampere's law states the sum over element of the component of the magnetic field along the direction of the element time element length is proportional to the current I that passes through the loop. The ultimate equation will become for the Ampere's law will be as such. This is the closed integration of line B dot of dl is equal to mu 0 of I enclosed is equal to mu 0 surface integration of j dot of ds. For the Stokes theorem, as a applied point of view, the Ampere's law expression can be modified as such. Force law, classically physics make to attempt to explain how the force is generated. Modern physics attempt to explain it is the relatively use a Lorentz transform to turn the magnetic field into the electric field, but this is a mathematical fall. Though the formula for the force law can be as such, that is F is equal to Q E plus of QV plus into of cross of B. For the Lorentz force formula, the charge particle is as follows, where F is the force acting on the particle, Q is the charge, V is the velocity, and E is the external electric field, B is the magnetic field. For the continuous charge distribution point of view, the expression can be modified as such. Faraday's law of induction is basically law of electromagnetism, predicting how the magnetic field will interact with the electric current to produce an electromotive force. This phenomenon also known as electromotive induction. The electromotive force around the closed path is equal to the negative to the time rate of change of the magnetic flux enclosed by the path. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction consists two laws. First law, where the conductor is placed in a varying magnetic field and electromotive force is induced. If the conductor circuit is closed, a current is induced which is called the induced current. Second law is induced EMF in a coil is equal to the rate of change of flux linkage, and the expression will be as such: f psi is equal to closed surface integration of E dot of ds. Maxwell equation in integral form are the fundamental postulate of classical electromagnetic. All classes electromagnetic phenomena are explained by this equation, and for this reason it is so much important one. This equivalent magnetic source can be treated by a generalization of Maxwell equation. Which one is? For the various equivalent principle consist with the Maxwell equation allow us to replace more complicated electric current charge distribution with equivalent magnetic source. These are the Maxwell equation into the integral form. And if you write down this Maxwell equation for the no charge and no mass condition, that time the equation just modified in here, that is Q is charge. If it is 0, that time the modified expression will be this one. Second equation will be as it is. Third is also as such the previous one for the no charge and no mass. But if it is for the fourth equation, that time mu 0 I will be 0 on there. The modified expression for the no charge no mass will be as written for the fourth section. The induced EMF, also known as the electromagnetic force in a closed circuit, is equal to the negative of a rate of change of magnetic flux passed through it. In the integral form, the expression will be as such. For the Ampere's law, MMF, that is the magnetomotive force in a closed circuit, is equal to the rate of change of electric flux and current passing through it. The expression form will be given here. Gauss law for the electricity, which is the electric flux passed through any closed surface is proportional to the enclosed electric charge. And Gauss law for magnetism, the magnetic flux passed through any closed surface is always equal to 0. These are the vector identity. The integral expression which is defined previous sliders, it can be modified by using the vector identity, that is the Gauss divergence theorem and the Stokes theorem. And integral form for the divergence theorem is this one, and this one for the Stokes theorem. If we apply these two, that time the Maxwell equation can be modified, and the differential form, by applying that too, we can write down as a differential form will be as such, that is Faraday's law of differential form will be del cross of E is equal to minus del B by of del T. You just check on that. Here the Stokes theorem is applied. And for the second case, for the Ampere's circuitry law, here also after applying the Stokes theorem, the differential form of equation will be del cross of H is equal to J plus of del D by of del T. If you apply the Gauss divergence theorem, that is the vector identity, as I told, the two vector identities are present. One is the Gauss divergence and second one is the Stokes theorem. If we apply this, in this case for the Gauss divergence, if we apply, that time the electricity in differential form will be come or modified as a del dot of T is equal to rho V. Gauss law for the magnetism in differential form, it will be del dot B is equal to 0. So in the differential equation form, here 4 equations we just able to write down, and these are already told. Now the Maxwell equation in the static case, that is del by of del D is equal to 0. That means you are considering here electrostatic condition. The modified expression for the Maxwell equation will be as such. For the source free dynamic case, where the current density J is equal to 0 and also rho V charge density also will be 0, that is it is defined the source free, that time the Maxwell this 4 equation will be modified as such, that is del cross of E is equal to minus del B by of del T, del cross of H is equal to del D by of del T, del dot B is equal to 0, del dot D is equal to also 0. Here E and H are coupled, they are not independent. The coupling generates the phenomena of EM wave propagation. If you want to write down the phasor form, that time you should be remembered that Maxwell equation in the phasor form will be just del by of del t is converted into the form of the j of omega. If you write down into the phasor form for the Maxwell equation, these will be as such, and the dependency in Maxwell equation is Gauss law for the electricity derived from the Ampere's law and the conservation of charges. And after that, we can say del dot of t is equal to 0 by following these are the steps. Gauss law for the magnetism derived from the Faraday's law. We also conclude that del dot of P is equal to 0. These are the important diagram, also known as the flow diagram for the electromagnetic. If you want to remember various expression for the electrostatic, magnetostatic or the electromagnetic system, this diagram so helpful for you. As you say, if you are interested to write down the expression for the D from this diagram, you can so easily able to write down that is D is equal to F psi into of E. If you write down the expression for the H, that time the expression will be 1 by mu into of B. These two equation or diagram is used for electromagnetic system flow diagram design. That means these two are used in this case with also extra few line or branch to get the electromagnetic system various expression. That means these are the so important flow diagram for remembering various kind of expression. I think each and everyone can able to understand for the electromagnetic and also the various basic law for the electromagnetics. We again meet next day with the new topic. Till have a good day. Thank you.